You guys know how much I love umbrellas, but they're a little hard to control. You can't control the light from these as much as you can on a softbox. Till now. Well, until a while ago, but until now for me, I had to try this. I reached out to Westcott and said, I gotta have one of these. Please send me one because I want to see how this thing is. I love this type umbrella softbox, if you will, but I never tried this one and I really wanted to try it because they have something special that no other softbox umbrella like this has. And the other thing is small lighting, somewhat moderately inexpensive studio or location lighting that gives you that studio quality without breaking the bank. Not everybody wants an 8600, 8400 or a Pro Photo B10. Some people just want a lightweight, versatile setup that they can use anywhere, both if it is in a studio or on location that has the power. The other problem with using a speed light, and I love using small lights, you guys know how much I do, is when you have ambient light, you can't compete with the ambient light with a small speed light. You can shut them off, but then their pupils go really big and all you see is big black spots in their eyes instead of their color, their beautiful eyes. So that's the other thing. What light will we be using for this? So for this setup, we're going to be using the AD200 Pro version 2. Again, I always use the extension head with this. I want this thing down low on the stand. And as the lower I can get it, the better, because then the weight's down here. And if something happens where this falls over, maybe the bulb breaks or this breaks, that expensive unit is still intact. There's no issue with it. That's a big thing for me. Anyway, let me show you this umbrella softbox that I couldn't wait to try. So this is another Apollo by Westcott. And I don't know why I never tried this. And I don't know when they came out with this feature, which I'm really excited about, but I really am excited about it. Now, the other thing is when using this type softbox, you have limited tilt. It doesn't bother me that much. I know a lot of people it does bother. It really doesn't bother me that much because I don't really need that much of a tilt. I know what the norm is, 45 degrees down, 45-degree angle, whatever. But most of the time you don't even need that. But if you do, because the item I'm going to use with this is also beneficial for other things. So this is the umbrella softbox and they made the diffusion separate, which I love. Now, you can throw this on just like this, but we're going to add one item to this. I want to see if it helps. This is just an 8-inch Shorty arm by Westcott, and I couldn't wait to try this with this box. I don't know how it's going to work. The question is, do I go this way or this way? I'm guessing. So the other thing, these grips by MagMod, I get these for speed lights and for my AD200 because of this. I don't have to reach in and unscrew anything to make this thing tilt. I just grab it and I can tilt it. And especially if it's in a softbox like this, it would be a pain in the butt. But these are really nice. I have these everywhere and I use them for everything. I can't recommend these enough. If you use speed lights or something like this, get those. So this is the way to do it. So I have the arm coming towards the front and this going towards the back. It'll fill this whole thing. And I have a lot more tilt like this, much more than I would have with the other way. So this is actually pretty decent. This is a good tilt on this. So this arm really helps. Now I have another arm that's just a little bit longer than this, but this arm, even with it only being 8 inches, will allow you to shoot underneath a reflector, whether it's an umbrella or a small softbox or something like that. It's going to give you the room to shoot underneath it, so you're not shooting around the pole. And I do that a lot. So this is going to get a lot of use. So I really do like that. And then I can reach in and grab that and then tilt it the way I want to without having to stick 2 hands in there to, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so that's why I use this mag grip instead of the little clampy things. Now, are you ready for this? So umbrella softbox, fantastic. I love it. I'm really excited with this. And with the AD200, I'm going to have the power to compete with this. Now, obviously, I'll turn these down so it doesn't have to be blazing at 100%. But when I turn these down, I'm still going to get good pupils because it's not going to be so dim in here. And then this shocked me. Look at the width of that. Look at that. This is incredible. the control you're going to get with this. Now, obviously you get control with grids no matter what, but this kind of grid with this kind of width and this kind of build quality is absolutely exceptional. And everything's down here. So if I need to change the battery, it's right here. I'm excited about this. This is impressive. And I can't get over this grid. They did such a nice job with this. The V1, that's what I'm using for my rim or hair light today. I love these flashes. I use the Profoto grid. I love it. I think it's a great grid. And again, another MagMod. So that's my setup today. Just an AD200 Pro version 2 and a V1. This is going to be a great shoot. I almost forgot. For this shoot today, we are using the Viltrox 85 F2. Now, I've used that on a couple shoots on these videos, but I just wanted to show it to you on the Nikon Z mount. Love, love, love this lens. I didn't want to say anything until I used it and really took a look at it. We'll take a closer look in the last part of the video here, but this is the 85 Evo F2. It is a good weight, really well built. Picture quality is amazing. And wow, price-wise, I don't even imagine buying anything else after using this because I really like it that much. So that's what we're using today on today's shoot. This Viltrox 85 F2 Evo. Very impressive. And it has the manual focus, autofocus switch, the D-click, and a function button. Specs, I don't know. Who cares? The only thing I care about is when I look through my photos, if I like them, if it renders nice. This thing renders fantastic. But I'm using it on today's shoot as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. I have been using umbrella softboxes for so many years. I think ever since they first came out, I've had one, and I've always had one in my car, no matter what. Now, I want to show you a quick picture without the flash in the studio so you can see the ambient light coming in. The AD200 I have set at 1/16th power, and the V1 I have set at 1/128th power. Now remember, they both have grids on them. The biggest mistake that photographers make with flash when they first start out is using too much. They think because they have the power, they should pump it up and use it all. Don't use all the power. Just like a lens, just because you have a 1.2 or 1.4 lens doesn't mean you have to shoot every single thing you shoot at 1.2 or 1.4. Now, I know everybody wants that 3D look, and blurry backdrops is not always the best choice. And most of the time, it's not the best choice. Using light and shadow is your best choice to create a 3D look. As you can see in these images, shadow creates that 3D look. It gives you depth in your images without obliterating the backdrop. I have to laugh because a lot of photographers send me their images to say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. This is the lens. And it's always a blurry, blurry backdrop. The funny part is they always tell me, oh, I went to this fantastic location. Well, I can't even see the location because it's just a blob of blur in the backdrop, which you could have done in your backyard and you didn't have to travel somewhere. Use light and shadow to create that 3D effect. Stop down the lens a little bit and bring in your surroundings. It makes for a more interesting image, and you'll still get that separation, that effect, and make your subject stand out on their own merits versus just a blurry backdrop. Now, later I'm going to stop this lens down to 5.6 so you can really see the control you can get with this kind of setup. The two biggest problems that umbrella softboxes always had were, number one, the tilt. You couldn't tilt them as much as you wanted to because you're restricted by the slit at the bottom of them where the light stand goes through. Westcott solved this by creating this 8-inch little arm. I get so much more tilt with that arm. So that solved that problem. The other problem was control. You didn't have control of the light because you couldn't get a grid for these umbrella softboxes. So when they added the grids to their Apollo line, I was thrilled, but I never tried the Orb, and I couldn't wait to try this with a grid. Most of the time when I'm using umbrella softbox, it's for location shoots, and I really don't want that much control. I just want to light the portrait because I use them for portraits. But being able to add a grid to these type of softboxes makes these so much more useful, makes me fall in love with them a lot more is what I'm trying to say. The other part of this is for you that shoot at location only, you're always shooting on location, your light is protected inside of this softbox. So if the wind does take it down, the softbox itself is going to take the hit, not your strobe inside. Now, I use the extension heads all the time And I'm never worried about the light falling down because that's going to be protected anyway. Now, getting back to the shoot, I want to stop down to 5.6 now. So I'm going to pump up the power on the 8200 to 1/4 power, and the V1 I'm going to set at 1/32 power. Now, you can see the fall off in the backdrop quite a bit more now, and you can see the control I have with this light. And again, it's just saying that it's an umbrella softbox with control is kind of stunning to me. But this is the type of control you can get with this type softbox. So if you've never tried one, definitely try one. I think you're really going to appreciate it. And especially if you travel and shoot on location, you're going to appreciate it a lot more. You don't always have to use the grid, but when you do, you're going to have the control that you want. And the arm that they created for this really does help with the tilt. So for those of you who want that tilt, you have it.